Students, parents, and teachers have all come forward concerned about one teacher.
No idea what I'm referring to.
Not really.
Coming up, the actions that are raising concerns and why the principal says the board has not fired him. Parents and students are coming forward tonight talking about a San Diego school teacher's inappropriate actions around his students.
When I-Team reporter Mitch Blocker started asking questions, he found the teacher still in the classroom and a protective teachers union unhappy about the publicity.
They lined up to talk, students.
They decided that they wanted to hug girls and touch their legs.
Parents.
He was up on the courtyard with two little girls around him, and both of them were playing with his hair.
Teachers.
The teacher was on the ground, like sitting down with his legs crossed, girls surrounding him and playing with his hair.
They're talking about Jose Valencia, a teacher at Promise Charter School. Students have told us, parents have told us that you're inappropriate with some of the students. Are you inappropriate with some of the students?
Never.
Never?
No.
Students told us what he's like in the classroom.
She wanted to know what a word meant in the book. So she asked the teacher, and the teacher is like, "Oh, come." And he started laying on the beanbag, and she laid down too.
What was the book about?
It was about sex, romance, and stuff.
And this is a 30-year-old man laying on a beanbag chair with a 12, 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Reading about sex.
Mm-hmm.
What's this teacher's name?
Mr. Valencia.
A former principal said in court papers that she was fired for cooperating with a police investigation into 4 separate complaints concerning Mr. Valencia's inappropriate behavior with female students. A police investigation into one of the complaints was never finished because, according to court records, the alleged victim was not able to compose herself to answer questions. Jose Valencia has never been charged with a crime. His students told us he asks them not to talk about what happens in class.
He says that, "Oh, what if they fire me? Like, what will happen to his kids and his wife and stuff like that?"
He just stared at me, and he's like, "If anything happens to me, just think, if I ever go to jail, just think about my wife and my future kids."
That would be your fault that he went to jail?
Mm-hmm.
We watched as Valencia coached soccer after school. High fives, joking around, holding hands. We wanted to talk to you to get the story from you.
No, that's okay.
He told us he had no idea what we were talking about. You have no idea what I'm referring to?
Not really.
But Valencia does know about complaints against him. He's responded to them in writing, saying, "How was I supposed to know that sitting next to a girl student is inappropriate? How was I supposed to know that if a student fixes my hair, it's inappropriate?" But with us, he wasn't so forthcoming.
Can I make a call really quick?
Sure. Instead, he called his teachers union. The vice president of the San Diego Education Association told us, "I'm recommending to Jose, in terms of protecting himself from predators like his principal and you, to not talk."
I am, kind of shocked that the union is protecting teachers like that.
Promise Charter Principal Jose Orozco says his school board hasn't been able to fire Valencia because of union protection. He said in the past, similar complaints were made about a teacher who wasn't a union member, and he was let go. Valencia's past students say they don't care about the union.
I don't want him to do anything else to anyone else. I know what he did to me.
Are you inappropriate with some of the students?
Never.
For the I-Team, I'm Mitch Blocker, 10 News.
And the principal at Charter Promise says an assistant is now always in Jose Valencia's classroom to observe. He says inappropriate behavior on school property has stopped.
Just a week after the 10 News I-Team highlighted a San Diego teacher's questionable conduct, that teacher has requested a leave of absence.
I-Team reporter Mitch Blocker learned Jose Valencia will not be in a classroom for the rest of the year.
In a letter to parents, Promise Charter School's principal revealed that one of his teachers has requested a leave of absence. That teacher is Jose Valencia, a teacher featured by the I-Team for alleged inappropriate conduct with students.
I don't want him to do anything else to anyone else. I know what he did to me.
Parents, teachers, and former students say he crossed the line.
He was up on the courtyard with two little girls around him, and both of them were playing with his hair.
I haven't seen the teacher sleep with a student, but that's the way they're going.
Last week, we asked Valencia about the allegations and a police investigation into his conduct in 2008. Students have told us, parents have told us, That you're inappropriate with some of the students? Are you inappropriate with some of the students?
Never.
Never? We found Valencia has responded to some complaints before, writing, "How was I supposed to know that sitting next to a girl student is inappropriate? How was I supposed to know that if a student fixes my hair, it's inappropriate?" After our report aired last week, several students emailed us defending Valencia. One wrote, "I always felt safe. If anything, I felt safer with Mr. Valencia being there." The San Diego Education Association, the teachers union, refused to comment about our investigation. Some have said the union is protecting Valencia.
I don't see why people would defend that.
Several students and parents say they have been threatened for talking to us. The San Diego Police Department is investigating those threats. For the I-Team, I'm Mitch Blocker, 10 News.
And Mitch and the I-Team will continue to dig into the latest developments in this story and bring you any updates as they develop.
And the suspicious journal entries found inside the classroom of a local teacher who is now under investigation. After the 10 News I-Team spotlighted a San Diego teacher's questionable conduct, that teacher decided to stop teaching for the rest of the year.
Now I-Team reporter Mitch Blocker has learned that he left something behind, and what was found in his classroom could raise even more questions.
Jose Valencia stopped teaching shortly after this interview. Students have told us, parents have told us, that you're inappropriate with some of the students? Are you inappropriate with some of the students?
Never.
Never?
No.
The former Promise Charter School teacher said he had nothing to hide, but inside his classroom, staff told us they found something that had remained a secret. Dozens of journals written by 13 and 14-year-old students.
A staff member came across these journals and asked me to take a look at them.
This Promise Charter School staff member did not want to be identified. They told us the journals were used as a free writing exercise in Jose Valencia's and his former colleague Juan Triado's classroom.
And a student writes about how she was teaching Mr. Valencia how to pop it. And in the journal entry she says, it's when you move your butt up and down.
Mr. Valencia gave that student a plus check for writing about popping it. Here a student writes to Mr. Tirado about missing him in class, saying you're hipper than Mr. Valencia, and in a way crazy. Tirado writes, "You're crazier, and guess what, I missed you too." The journals also include an entry where a student writes, "I have tried killing myself."
If a teacher does know these things about a student, as mandated reporters, they should have reported it.
Here a student writes about feeling abandoned by her mother. It's not clear which teacher gave it a check and wrote at the bottom, "I don't know if this is the right time, but I need a babysitter for Saturday. LOL, JK."
A teacher should never be having that type of relationship or closeness with a student to where they tell them their deepest, darkest secrets. It's twisted.
These journals date back as far as 2007. Neither Valencia nor Tirado still teach at Promise Charter. Their teachers union refuses to comment about the conduct.
If this is out there, why are they protecting it? I don't understand.
Some students, parents, and teachers have told us they don't think anything is wrong. It's illustrated in one entry where a student writes about Mr. Valencia saying, "I know he loves me." Now, shortly after we got copies of the journal entries, we were told the San Diego Police Department collected them. Sources tell us they have become part of a police investigation into Jose Valencia's conduct. For the I-Team, I'm Mitch Blocker, 10 News.